Hi, my name is Mark Wagner, and I'm a junior finance major at the University of Maryland. I've just finished a course in managing people and organizations, and I'm here to talk about what I learned and who I think I'm going to be in 5 years, and how I can apply what we learned here into future teamwork that I do. So first off, I see myself working in probably front-end software when I graduate, but in the meantime, I'm going to be working with small businesses, probably doing some entrepreneurial work. When I do graduate and enter the working field, I estimate working for a small firm, as I have done previously during a semester off, because corporations could present a few hurdles that I don't cope with very well, such as certifications that are necessary to climb up, time management, and a competitive grind in the same tranche where you're not expanding yourself and developing as an individual. So I prefer the autonomous nature of small businesses. I'll get more into that later. But right now I'd also like to talk about how I gained a bigger insight into who I am myself. I didn't realize that I was maybe more of an introvert than I think, but it's a spectrum. So these assessments showed me that my weakness is mostly organizational and in time, but also in effort. But my strengths are that I'm a go-getter, very creative, and I'm a good decisional manager. And I'm also a good generalist, so I like to wear different hats, and I'm able to adjust very quickly to changing environments. During our project, I realized that I was very good at quantitative work on specified tasks, but I was unable to really get into qualitative development because I didn't have the vision right off the bat that everyone else had. So I let them kind of dictate, or at least our leader dictate how it was going to develop. So I was just played the task finder role and not being an instrumental leader in the group, which is okay because I don't believe in having team-based leadership. I like having one person decide how we're going to do it, and then we all, because we're busy students. So we were a high-functioning team because our leadership was able to effectively use all of our talents and organize it into the video. So we had a video maker who was really talented with film editing. We had a data collector who was able to meet with people and send out surveys and find all that valuable results that we needed. I was a data analyzer, so I would put it all into quantitative formulas and charts so you could see why all these numbers have an impact, what they mean, because otherwise it's just raw data. So I played the statistician. We also had a writer, someone to develop the ideas into how they were going to be presented on the screen. And a people finder, someone who put us in touch with all those connections we needed, such as the founders of the bike company in DC, so we could get a knowledge of what it takes to start it firsthand from someone who has. So we all brainstormed together, and we all had a material impact on the video, which is really excellent, and I am very happy with how it turned out. However, there are some criticisms that I have over myself, and I would like to change in the next time we do a group project, or I find myself in the position of a team. I would like to be more involved in the collection of tasks, albeit menial, because all of my team are very talented individuals, and there's really no reason why I shouldn't have put myself out there just as much as they were collecting data on a hot sunny day and sacrificing time-wise. In fact, we all should be part of that task because that's core to the function of our research. Was all crowd found data, so survey data. And next time I'll be sure to put more effort in, hopefully without taking 17 credits. But to improve my team skills, I'd also like to learn some technical skills so that I can add specific value to a team. Because when you get into the workplace, and especially in corporate America with all our graduates, they all really are very good at finding a way to add value. So if you want to stand out, you have to do something unique, such as code a language or know certain terminology in, let's say, finance, so you can make deals in more fluidly, or you have to have super fine people skills, soft skills. So you need to have some kind of edge that you have that augments your general participation in the team. And I think that there's no better way to prepare than trial and error in the very game itself. So I'm going to try to be part of teams when I get my first real job after I graduate, and adjust myself very rapidly to keep that job or move on to the next position where I'm engaged in a team, because it's going to be nonstop for the next 40 years, working in teams, working with other people, because that's just how business works. So there's going to be time to perfect it, but I'm going to try to utilize all the things I've learned here and that they've now been put into terms for me. So I can say, oh, you know what, you're a decisional leader, or you're an interactional leader, or something like that. I also want to practice working on specific team activities before my graduation in the next few remaining classes, and I'm sure there will be some team projects for us to do. One thing people tend to avoid because they feel like they're being gimmicked is reading books on leadership and like self-help books on fellowship and interpersonal skills from theory writers, because they're very useful, because they give you a different view than what we learned in school, which is the terms, why everything means what it is. They say, oh, here's how to be that type of leader. Here's how to set up a team that works this way. Here's how to motivate someone. And there's a lot of little like tricks that aren't really put in the book because it's some from some specific knowledge. So they can supplement what we already know with a unique approach to applying those tactics of teamwork and team building, team strategy. And also, I'd like to write a letter to myself, and although this is more of a screencast to myself, in my letter I would ask, have you become that excellent manager that you wanted to become? Did you find yourself successfully motivating people, and they're saying, wow, Mark, you brought this team together, you did a good job, we accomplished the tasks, and everyone was really satisfied? Because I've given that kind of thanks to team members or team leaders of our teams, and I think they really appreciated it. So I want to be that person someday too, when it really counts. And also, I want to make sure that I don't drive old friends away for new ones. I want to retain the relationships I have and develop them over time, because that's very important to developing your network. And did I ever land that SME dream job or found that startup that I wanted to? Well, I could almost answer that now, and I know what I'd tell myself is, you're dumb for trying to plan everything out 5 years ahead. My future plan in the 5 years will be very unclear, because my past 5 years were already so unpredictable. I didn't know that I would be living in Maryland. I didn't know that I would have rental properties. I didn't know that I would have had already 2 jobs and then gone back to college again. It's a very complicated journey, and I don't want to make the mistake of planning ahead. And Warren Buffett warns against planning too far ahead. So, like I said in my past video, if you take all the decades that you've lived, for me it's 2, square it, so that's 4, and then subtract 1, that's a new rule I just added. That's how many years ahead you should be looking. So for me, it's 3. This next summer, I plan to meddle in small business, and then when I graduate, I'm going to be working for a larger firm, probably a medium enterprise, and perhaps a corporation if I really get my GPA high. But in any case, I'll have a chance to work with teams of different dynamics. Some might be more team-based leadership, others will be, manager leadership. And in this next summer thing I'm doing, this is operating a tourism business, I'm going to be like a franchise operator, and it's going to give me the opportunity to practice with a very small team, having complete autonomous control over the functions of the business, the supplies, the paychecks, the marketing, the management of it. So that's going to be a great experience for me when I do move into the world. I just don't want to overtake what I know about it and try to say, oh, I know enough, I can manage this, I got this, because when every company is different, and people who found the company usually know their business very well. So I don't want to overstep, and no matter what new job you take, you have to work your way in slowly and not assume, I have an MBA, I got this. There's always things you need to learn, and that all is about the people skills, knowing who's working with you. So, but I think it'll all come in time. I learned a lot in this class. I had a great time with this video, not just this video, but the group video. And I want to kind of keep in touch with all of my teammates, because I'll remember how we just got started with our first, official project, very professional, making a report for our class on how we can improve the campus. So it's kind of learning. You can't really put in terms to learn. Like, you can't say, I learned an equation here's this equation tells me the formula for what the dividend should be. It doesn't work that way. It's experiential learning. So I can't describe exactly what we learned, but it's besides all the terms about how structured organizations function, but it's just experience, it's practice, and every time I work in a team, I'm going to be better than the next time I do it. So I'm looking forward to that next time. Thanks for watching my blog, and keep looking out for more of them because I'm going to start making the habit of this. Have a good summer.